I am Margaret Ann Windsor, my real name. This is my father, King Edward VIII, the real one, not the double that married Wallace Simpson and helped take down my father, and 99-year seal, which should have been a red button for anybody to know something's wrong, to put a 99-year seal on it. I was born in 39, and Roosevelt, the Kennedy, Joe Kennedy, the Kennedys, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the Freemasons. My Uncle George had kidnapped me, who became the illegal George VI. My uncle, my father's brother, and Elizabeth is illegal. Okay, what I wanted to focus on, I found out in late 83, this is Uncle George hobnobbing with Roosevelt, the president, and you know what you'll do for money, I guess. Take out your own brother, your country, etc. Let's see if I can get this on here, though. I wrote about mind control murders before I found out about my kidnapping. In 70, it was 76 to 80 when I had antifreeze put in me and should have died April Fool Day, because this has all been an April Fool joke. That they could do it to me, to the British, and get away with it. I knew about the mind control murders for a long, long time before I ever knew the mechanism used in it. And the mechanism is mind control, and it's invisible. So it would be hard to prove who did it and that they even did it. The wrong person, the victim of mind control, ends up paying for the crime. And I'll just give you for instance, like the Virginia Tech shootings here, the 33 that were shot in April the 16th of '07. But there's been a whole list of them. The abductions next door in University of Virginia, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just here. It's I will say this, I worked for the district attorney in 80 after the antifreeze when I could hardly talk or type. I worked for him and in Huntsville, Alabama, Madison County District Attorney. And later, that was when John Lennon was shot by Mark David Chapman, too. These are done in patterns, the murders, so they can be proven. I just don't know if I live to see it done or if it's even done. Because the media's got to go with it or nobody believes it. Or the FBI would have to take down the right persons. Of course, it's so hideous you can't even tell it. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's so ludicrous. And that's what the FBI agent told me up in Grottoes. They made it so ludicrous. People know you're telling the truth. They're going to have a chance to help you or walk away. Well, they chose the latter. So that I don't forget, and I'm about to, where I was at. I worked for the district attorney. And one of the murders was John Lennon. And I want to say, I think I'm picking up where I left off. Dwayne Williams, I had told about that also, and trying to get people to listen to me, and things were being done to my children and me about the book. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And he was programmed, the man was programmed to shoot him and kill his attorney. And I could go on and on. Larry Flint flew me out there and did a endorsement in Hustler. But anyway, the person was programmed to shoot him, and I was telling about the programming and all this. And Wayne Williams, though, was one of them that I was trying to tell about later on when I was doing the book and trying to get it published. And I had antifreeze put in me across the state line, worked for the VA, and that was illegal, taking me across the state line. But I came back. I got no jobs. I couldn't get a job. And I won't go into the other details because it's too lengthy and the tape will run out. But I got a bus, went to Atlanta, and I actually went to the Wayne Williams trial because I had spoken when I was working at Golden Triangle, which would have been 81. and it was run by the CIA. Uh, so anyway, um, I got down to the trial. I had spoken while I worked at Golden Triangle Publishing. I had spoken with Mary Welcome, who was Wayne's attorney, and I told her right off, please don't hang up on. They put me right through to her, by the way. And I said, I wanted to tell you about Wayne. I said, but listen to me, don't hang up on me. Mind control was used in it. And Mary Welcome's words to me were, I believe you. And she was going to send her attorney to get a deposition. Well, they tried. I was almost murdered. Again, it's how the weapon that was used to try to murder me. But so now I'm going to fast forward to I couldn't get a job anymore. It's 82, and I go to the Wayne Williams trial, and I'm literally living on the street walking, where I'd had a home and everything, scared to death, freezing. I went down there, and I handed some stuff to, by the way, the CIA went in and took over from Mary Welcome, and they used the name of my son, which has been used in a lot of this. His last name was Marcus. Took it away from Mary. So that's the red flag. So whose fault is all this? The media, the people here. It's exactly who's done it to me and allowed it to happen. But before this goes out, this is just one time this happened when I'm looking back. But remember, I didn't know my real name and about my kidnapping until late 83. I turned the information over to Bob SIRKIN. SIRKIN. He's I worked for a lot of the media, but he at the time was a correspondent for ABC out of the Atlanta Bureau. And you can Google him and find out all about him. I mean, he was quite popular then. Okay, I handed it to him, and I remember walking back on the other side because that side was the press during the trial for County Courthouse, Atlanta. Went back on the other side, and I remember somebody saying, looking at me, and saying, boy, what some people will do to try to get media attention. You know, I've been through hell. I didn't need any remarks like that, but I understand them because you get it right and left when you're telling people what they don't want to hear. But anyway, when the court dismissed or something, I guess it was the end of it, well, Bob SIRKIN came over to me, and I remember him standing there with the papers that I'd given him, and he said, are you Peggy Childers? And I said, yes, I am. And he looked at me, and he said, are you sure that's who you are? And he walked away. I didn't know what he meant. But later, there's nobody who will touch any of this. Later, the same thing has happened, like when the Secret Service came down there after I'd gone to, had I already gone? I can't know. Yeah, I'd already gone to D.C. walking, can you believe, and carrying the book and the papers from the FBI and all this, and left a copy at the executive mail room, the post office at the course. It's inside the gate at the corner of the White House. Remember the Sullivan, the Secret Service guy on the outside was named Sullivan. I logged it in at this big, huge book you have to log in, and I logged it into Ronald Reagan's oldest son, the talk show host that's adopted. And on the way back to Atlanta, I'm not going to say, I mean, it's been an ongoing hell and laws broken you can't believe. But I did walked and went to the Cobb County Marietta Police, or Sheriff, I can't remember which one it was, their department, and I wanted to get my divorce decree. I wanted to get it enforced so I could have some money. My husband owed me alimony so I could at least live. And instead, the detective, or he called himself inspector, I didn't know they called him that. He called me, took me back in the other room, and that's when the Secret Service, Tom Call and Phil Cox, came in. And